What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we're going to be checking out some awesome battles submitted to the channel by a member of the community, PhoenixThaBoss, running the Runarigus, Guzzlord, and Dragonite here in the Halloween Cup. Now we have the Halloween Cup for 2 weeks straight, and honestly, my own opinion, you guys can let me know if you guys agree or disagree, is I think this meta is really good. There's a lot of variety that can be had, and a lot of unique and cool Pokemon that you can run, and everything can always be mixed up a bit. And there's a lot of wiggle room for lots of Pokemon to be used in this meta. So let's see how this trainer does. They do hit Legend, spoiler alert. Obviously, this is a Legend battle submission. They are at Expert right now on the cusp of Legend. So let's see how well this team does. All right, getting into the first battle, we have Runarigus versus Toxapex on the lead. Pretty positive lead here, especially with that ghost typing. And we do see a swap out into Wormadam Trash Cloak. Now, Runarigus is pretty flexible and honestly a great setup Pokemon, as well as locking down something like a Toxapex. As Sand Tomb here can apply the debuff, and we see a no shield there. As we do get to a Shadow Ball in time, this is definitely going to be forcing a shield, as this will probably one-shot. And it does! Boom! Down goes Wormadam, just instantly out of the game. Toxapex now probably looking to... No, they got to come in with Greninja, yeah, and they will swap out into Guzzlord. And Guzzlord's another fantastic Pokemon that you guys could run. You have to trade for it in order to get it below 1500, unless I missed some kind of special research or something like that I completely went off my radar. But to my knowledge, you have to trade it, much like other legendaries like Tapu Fini or Lugia, as we will see Toxapex come back in. And Guzzlord is a really cool looking Pokemon. I mean, honestly, I think the shiny, hot take here, I think the shiny is ugly. It's bad. It looks like a clown pumpkin kind of thing. This normal Guzzlord, though, with the black and yellow, I think is a very cool, aesthetically pleasing color combination. So you guys can let me know how you feel about that in the comments. But the Guzzlord, pretty strong in this meta, as well as Runarigus is going to go ahead and come back in and look to farm down the Toxapex, as they do have a Sand Tomb ready to go. This should be enough to KO because of the poison typing there on Toxapex, and it is perfect. Final Pokemon is going to be that Greninja, and Dragonite is going to make quick work of it with Dragon Tail. So this is a double Dragon backline. Good game. All right, moving into the next one, we have Runarigus versus Chargebug. Let's see how they go. They decide to swap out. It's going to be a Runarigus mirror match, but they are ahead by one fast move as they swap into Guzzlord now. So they banked a ton of energy, which is going to be very beneficial to them. And Runarigus is honestly a great answer to Chargebug if you guys are having some issues with it. It's that ghost ground type, right? So you're going to be resisting the volt switches and discharges and X scissors. It's really solid, as Sand Tomb there doesn't do that much. And Guzzlord here is quite the opposite, right? You're going to be resisting Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball and only take neutral from Sand Tomb, so we will see an aggressive full farm down with Dragon Tail, as Guzzlord is now loaded on energy. The tough thing is they do have enough energy for a double crunch, but I don't think they'll survive for 3 Dragon Claws, which is why, yeah, they're going for double crunch right here. And that's because of all the Sand Tomb debuffs. Even though they're resisting Volt Switch, they would go down, as you see, and that is going to be, well, I think that's going to be a good game, if I'm being totally honest, as Dragonite can come in and easily, unless this is crunch. No, it's going to be X Scissor that's going to be resisted, and we will see the Palo Sand come in. Sorry, some of these Pokemon I've played with, right, in the main generations, but most of the later ones, sorry about the lag right there, most of the later ones are, I only get exposed to them through Pokemon Go. Maybe some of you are in the exact same boat, but like Gen 1 to 4 is like right up my alley, right? Especially Gen 1 to 3. The rest of it, 5, 6, 7, especially 8, it's all kind of new, right? So that's gonna be a good game. All right, moving into the next one here. Whoa, what just happened there? Okay, we got Runarigus versus Dragonite here on lead. So this is kind of a tough one, as they're going to be taking quite a bit of damage from Aqua Tail, but they do have Shadow Ball and they do have Sand Tomb. So they're actually going to decide to no shield right here, as it is going to be the Aqua Tail. It will do super effective damage. But they have the Sand Tomb, and I think the play that they're trying to do is similar to the Wormadam Trash Cloak, where they go for Sand Tomb first, then Shadow Ball second. And let's see if they can get it. They get a no shield there, unfortunately, so they're going to have to go for another one, as this might get the first shield. And I don't know if we'll see a swap out. No, they do decide to swap out, and it's going to be a Scizor that comes in. Now, this Shadow Scizor is cooking right here, as Bullet Punch is going to be doing neutral damage. But the thing is, Guzzlord is actually putting in some work with Dragon Tail and Dragon Claw. Even though Scizor is part Steel type, it's going to be resisting. It's a Glass Cannon, so it's going to be forced to shield here. But Scizor should be able to get to the X Scissor pretty quickly. And this will KO the Guzzlord. It is super effective damage, as they're going to go ahead and no shield. Yeah, here comes the first. Oh, they went for Night Slash. Oh, maybe the opponent thought they were going to shield, but this is a free Dragon Claw right here, as they do get shield number 2. And the Scizor is going to go ahead and commit to that farm down now, able to take Switch. And this is going to be a tough one. Let's see if they try to sack swap, maybe a little peekaboo right here. As they're going to come in with, no, they just come in with Runarigus just straight up, and the opponent decides to throw, which is fine, I guess, because they would have been taken out regardless with Shadow Claw. And they get a boost, but too late, as Scizor goes down. Final Pokemon is going to be Jellicent, and this is where the Outrage can come in and do a lot of damage. They just have to watch for the potential sack swap, which is right there, as they overfarmed, and now they can go for a free Outrage. This is going to be a good game. This is what I've noticed with Dragalges, is they have been running the Outrage so they can have that extra coverage for neutral damage in situations, especially like Jellicent right here, or maybe, well, I guess Gunk Shot would be fine against Greninja, but good game. All right, moving into the next one. We have Runarigus versus Umbreon. Okay, so this is a bad lead. They can come back in it later with lots of Sand Tombs. They're going to decide to stand. Maybe they're going to try to catch. That might be the play. They're going to go ahead and go for Sand Tomb here. Umbreon's pretty easy to predict when it comes to the catches. The first foul play is going to be 4. The second foul play is going to be 3. So they're just actually going to swap out right away, and they're going to go into Dragalge. So they're utilizing Dragalge and Guzzlord as potential sack swaps, depending on what Pokemon you see on the lead. So in this case, a Guzzlord is going to be... Oh, and a Psychic does land right there. A Guzzlord is going to be much better to handle the Umbreon than the Dragalge is, as they can go ahead and go for an Outrage now against the Toxapex that I believe decided to swap in. Yeah, it is going to be the Toxapex. So, do they get to the next Outrage in time? They don't, but will they get... Yeah, they're going to go ahead and give up a shield. They want to get some pressure down here on the shield, or just take Switch. They're going to go ahead and go for Aqua Tail. This might be a double Aqua Tail as well. I didn't see the energy, but I feel like they have it. Let's see. They do have the double. This is huge now. I don't know if this is going to do enough damage, but Toxapex is pretty low. No, they get double shields. We'll take that all day long, right? Runarigus can come in. Brine will be doing super effective damage, but they don't need to shield it. It's very... it's still quite a bit of damage right there, but honestly, it's not enough to warrant a shield. And now it's going to be up to Guzzlord to try to sweep this game. Let's see what's going to be in the back. Oh, man, it's a Charjabug. Charjabug's going to get deleted right here by the Guzzlord. The question is, does it have X Scissor? That's where things can get very dicey, as they will decide to no shield. It is the X Scissor, so that is very dangerous, as they do have the back-to-back. They're going to be forced to shield now, and it's going to be up to Guzzlord to take down the Charjabug and put in at least enough damage against Umbreon where Runarigus and Sand Tomb can take it. But this is going to be a close one. Oh, they do get the Dragon Tail down in time. Now in comes the Umbreon. I think it has enough energy for a foul play. So let's see how this plays out, as Dragon Claw is going to be getting it low. Yeah, they do have enough. So foul play here. Is it going to be enough to KO? Will we see a counter swap? Counter swap? Yes, counter swap. Going to double Sand Tomb. This I'm predicting right here. Double Sand Tomb into one fast move Dragon Tail from Guzzlord to close this game out. Oh, that was, they weren't able to get to 2 Sand Tombs in time. Foul play will take out the Runarigus, and now Nope, they just go down. That's a good game, very well played regardless. All right, moving into the next one, we have Runarigus versus Runarigus on the lead. Let's see how they decide to play this out. Okay, both opponents deciding to stay in. Again, Mind Games, Sand Tomb, Shadow Ball. We do see a counter swap into Skuntank. This is very good for them. This can easily set them up. They can overload on it. No, they're just going to swap out right away and get into Dragalge. I guess this works out fine as well because they will have Aqua Tails on the back end of this for the Runarigus, right? As it will be doing super effective damage. They let the Crunch go through as they can farm down. And we'll have to see what the opponent decides to come back in with. My guess is going to be the Runarigus and a aggressive farm down with Shadow Claw. But ultimately, Dragalge is one fast move away from another Aqua Tail. And that is a tough order for them as they're going to be forced to give up the first shield of this game. And then we will probably see Guzzlord come in to soak the energy here from Runarigus. Yep, there it is. Guzzlord can easily come in, tank some Sand Tombs, and you can just clear it if you want to. If for those of you who don't know, when you get a buff or a debuff. Oh, and it's a Greninja in the back. That is a good game. For those of you who don't know, if you get a buff or a debuff, so maybe Power Up Punch, right? You use that on Medicham, your attack gets boosted. Or if you get hit with the Sand Tomb in this case and your defense gets lowered, when you swap your Pokemon out of battle, you click on to bring another Pokemon in. All those buffs and debuffs are cleared. So Guzzlord right here, as you can see, they just cleared the debuffs. That is going to be a good game as they can easily Dragon Tail down the rest of this game. Hydro Cannon, they don't even have to worry about it. And they will have to shield here, as that's just going to be the best call. They could survive, if I'm being honest, but it's not worth risking it, right? You got 2 shields left, you might as well just use them. You can't bring him into the next game, unfortunately, as Guzzlord now is going to be taking out Greninja, and Runarigus is going to go down as well. So Guzzlord, really solid job of core breaking right there, which will happen. It's a very, excuse me, it's a very strong Pokemon in this meta. All right, moving to the next one. We got Chargebug on the lead. Very positive lead right here. Let's see how the opponent decides to adjust. They're going to bring in an Azumarill. Okay, so this is obviously a tough Pokemon to deal with. It can do super effective damage to this whole team, potentially, right? With Ice Beam, basically Ice Beam. There it is right there. But the tough thing about Azumarill is its fast move is not enough pressure against this team in order to really dominate, as they decided to no-shield the Sand Tomb, and they're going to go ahead and go for Shadow Ball now in order to try to get rid of the Azumarill. I think it would survive anyways if it does land, but they decide to shield, which is fine. They're going to use Runarigus here to try to get rid of this Azumarill. Obviously, if you have a double dragon backline, you want to keep it away because you really don't have any pressure there with the fast move or charge moves on this team. Crunch, Dragon Claw, Outrage, and Aqua Tail, all of that is resisted, so they have to use Runarigus now in order to win. They do get a defense drop, though, so that is perfect for, even though they lose this matchup, it's perfect for something like Dragalge to come in and maybe get to an... Ooh. I don't know. This is going to be tough. Oh, man. This is Azumarill, the blue bunny. I knew it was going to be tough for this team, but this is like... Unless their backline is extremely weak to Guzzlord, I don't know how they're going to come back from this. Obviously, Guzzlord can get taken out with X-Scissors from Chargebug. So let's see what's going to be in the back. What decides to come in? Oh, it's another Dragalge. Oh, they don't get the Outrage. Oh, that is devastating. Oh, no. They do get the Dragon Claw off, though, and now they have to pray the opponent is running Crunch and Discharge and not X-Scissor. This little Chargebug is getting payback for his brother that Guzzlord just demolished earlier. Here comes the X-Scissor. You guys know it's coming. Oh, this is going to hurt. It is. Boom! Down goes the Guzzlord, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. Alright, moving into the next one. Runarigus versus Wormadam Trash Cloak. That's the form that it is. It's not trash in this meta, I'll tell you that. Shadow Claw right here does a lot of damage. It's really starting to add up, and there's a lot of energy to be had as well. And we've seen this matchup before where they decide to go for Sand Tomb first, and then, oh, and they get a shield there. That is huge. And then they can go for Shadow Ball second. That is going to be the real damage dealer here. And it could force 2 shields in this game early on, and they could honestly get to 2, sorry, still sick, 2 Shadow Balls against, oh, it just lands. Boom, see ya. And in comes a Carbink, which is even better because they're just going to be tearing through it here with double Sand Tombs and Dragalge's Aqua Tail. Things are looking pretty good as Sand Tomb here. It gets no shielded, and they can go for Shadow Ball now, which is perfect. If this lands, obviously huge amount of neutral damage. If it gets shielded, well, then they just got the last shield of this game. So they go ahead and go down. They're going to come in with Dragalge now, and they counter swap into Toxicroak. So Dragalge is just going to take this one. It's going to be able to go for Aqua Tail here. Might not get a shield. I mean, maybe. I don't know. No, it does get a shield. Okay, Toxicroak is like, it's the last line of defense, but Dragalge's in a great position here where they can easily farm down and have Aqua Tails ready to go. And even then, Carbink on the back, oh, they swap in with Guzzlord. Oh man, this is an aggressive swap, especially with the dark typing. But ultimately, Toxicroak is low enough here where they can survive. Carbink is going to be coming in. It's going to be able to farm down, but not before they can get off some chip damage here with Crunch. This is going to be resisted because of that fairy typing. But ultimately, we know Dragalge 1-0 shields, has an Aqua Tail, or 1 fast move away from Aqua Tail. Yeah, this is a good game. Carbink, unfortunately, just, I mean, it's thick, but it can't put out. You know what I mean? So they're going to go ahead and go for the Aqua Tail here and KO the Carbink. Good game. Sometimes I make myself laugh. All right. Moving into the next one, we got Runarigus versus Chargebug. Very positive lead right here. And let's see how they decide to play it out. They swap into Toxapex. And they can just go for Sand Tombs now. Now they can come in with Dragalge. That's going to be a really good counter here to Toxapex because of your typing. You resist Poison Jabs, you resist Brine, and you resist the Sludge Wave. So everything, you're sitting good, right? So Sludge Wave there, I mean, it's still a decent amount, but ultimately it's nothing to write home about. And Dragalge can go ahead and go for Outrage to maintain switch advantage here. It wouldn't be advantageous for the opponent to try to shield because they're not going to win the fast move race anyways, as they do go down. Now, we do see Chargebug come back in, and this is a tough situation for Chargebug. And this is why, instead of committing to the farm down, they decided to go for the Outrage against the Toxapex, is because they can do so much damage here with Dragon Tail as a fast move and not get farmed down as the Chargebug has to throw. X's are not enough to KO right there, but they do get the farm down, as we will see Runarigus come back in, and in comes, oh, that's a wrap. Greninja, unfortunately, cannot win in this situation in the 2-2 shields. Different story if it's like 1-0 or like 2-1, right? If they have some energy shield advantage, there is some play that could potentially be had just because of the damage of Hydro Cannon, but they do decide to surrender, so that's going to be a good game, very well played. Alright, moving to the next one, we got Runarigus versus Dragalge. Okay, both Pokemon doing super effective damage to each other with their charge moves, but Dragon Tail here looking to be taking the early lead in terms of pressure on health, as they will no shield the Aqua Tail. Now, they're going to go ahead and go straight for Shadow Ball right here, trying to land some sneaky damage if they can get it through, which they do. Shadow Claw might just be able to take it. No, not before. They will look to take switch advantage, though. And this is huge because they can apply the Sand Tomb debuff on whatever comes in. And that's going to be very advantageous for them, as we will see Shift Tree come in. So Guzzlord obviously in a very good position right here, especially with the Sand Tomb debuff. Now, Shift Tree can swap out, and it's going to clear its debuff. You will see it swap out right there. Golbat coming in, ultimately going to have a very bad time as double Dragon Tail users is going to be a wrap. unfortunately. Even though if Shadow Ball lands right here, which it does, Golbat just doesn't have the damage output to really threaten the Dragalge in terms of fast moves, because the Aqua Tails and Dragon Tails are going to be coming through as they decide to no shield. And that's, yep, they can no shield this, bring in the Guzzlord, and just fast move down that Shift Tree. Shift Tree, a Pokemon you may not even recognize. This might have been the first time you've ever seen it in Go Battle League, but let me tell you what, back in the first year of Go Battle League, this Pokemon was everywhere. It was used as a safe swap. Go figure. It was used as a safe swap in the meta. It was an absolute nightmare to deal with. And it was very fun. It's very spammy. Typically you run Foul Play and Leaf Blade, and you can have Snarl or Bullet Seed as a fast move. So very high energy gain, very low energy, hard hitting charge moves. But ultimately it met its end as the meta developed over time, but still a fun Pokemon to use, as it's going to fight the good fight right here, as Guzzlord will give up the final shield. You can also have Hurricane as well, which throws people off when a Hurricane lands against a Metacham. It is one of the most beautiful booms you can see in Go Battle League. It's pretty. It's like somewhere near up there with Fire Blast, Alolan Marowak. Good game. All right, moving into the next one. This might be the final one. Looks like we might have one or two more, depending on how long this battle is. But we have Azumarill here on the lead. So once again, a very tough team to be able to handle. As Azumarill can do very well, right, against everyone. We've seen how well it does. And I think they threw a charge move while I was coughing right there. I'm trying to cough off mic so you guys can't really hear it. But it's very tough for me to try to talk right now. My throat is hurting pretty bad. So, Sand Tomb going to be coming through. Did we get a shield? They do get a shield. That's actually huge now, because they can freely go for Shadow Balls. They will give up another shield. And the opponent's got to be reading their core broken in the back. That's what I would be reading if they're shielding on a Runarigus here. So we will see another Sand Tomb come through. The only win condition they have on the lead is if the opponent decides to shield this. And they do. Perfect. They can go for the Shadow Ball now. They swap out into Dragalge instead. Interesting. They swap out to soak the Ice Beam right here. And then now hopefully they can get to this Aqua Tail in time, which they do. And because of all the Sand Tomb debuffs, this plus Dragon Tails might be enough to take out Azumarill before another Ice Beam comes through. But they counter swap into Toxapex, which is going to be a free Outrage right here. I think they get to it in time. No, they're going to get to the Brine. No, they do get to it. Okay. Outrage right here. Going to be doing a lot of neutral damage, and something that they desperately needed to land in order to win this game as Toxapex farms down. They have energy on Runarigus, but I think they want to probably come in with Guzzlord. No, they come in with Runarigus and go for Sand Tomb, but they lose CMP tie? Oh, that's rough. There's no way. They come in with Guzzlord now, looking to farm down. I feel like that was a glitch in the game where the charge move just didn't appear in time. Oh, and they get hit with a Sludge Wave as well. Don't tell me the Azumarill has Ice Beam. Don't say it's so. Excuse me. It does. So they're going to go ahead. Oh, they had to go for a bubble. They're going to go ahead and go for the Dragon Claw. This is going to be taking out Azumarill. And the final Pokemon is going to be a Nidoqueen. Well, that's a good game, unfortunately, as Nidoqueen can go for the Poison Fang and close this one out. So very unfortunate. Runarigus didn't get the Sand Tomb off. That would have changed the game completely. But very good sets right there. Able to hit Legend as well. So huge congrats here to PhoenixThaBoss with Runarigus, Dragalge, and Guzzlord. A very cool team that you guys can try to run here in the Halloween Cup. So let me know what you guys thought about this team. Again, huge shout out and congrats to PhoenixThaBoss. Thank you for sharing this with us. And like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.